Roar!
Ew. Anywho, let me paint a picture for you. Unless someone volunteers to do the recap.
I already recapped.
Not on recording.
Yeah, so someone else can do it.
Garius?
I don't know what happened. I don't know if I'm supposed to recap all of the various sides, and I can't remember specifically which was actually the last episode we had that was actually a full episode. We've done quite a few sides since then. There's a lot to remember. So I pass.
The last one was Rosalia getting her her extra power.
Mm-hmm.
All I remember was I got lemon juice in my eye.
True.
And that rescuing me from a web on the floor was an afterthought. Oh yeah, we've got someone down there in a web. We might want to drag him out of there. Do we have to? Yes, we do.
Kind of reminded
That's all I
me
really
of.
remember.
Kind of reminded me of a D&D story I once listened to. It was depressing.
Yeah. So do
No,
you
it
want to
was
do the
depressing.
recap on my TGM?
No, it was depressing in a sense, Garius, because imagine this. There is this D&D group, and they're fighting their way through a dungeon, as you do in D&D. And what happens is their fighter falls into a hole. And everyone is like, yeah, he's dead. And they just walk away. No one
That was a Puffin
checked.
Forest thing.
No one checks it is. No one checks if he is alive or not. So this guy is sitting in this 3-meter deep hole that is just deep enough for him not to be able to get out by himself. It's like, guys, I'm okay. And then they go ahead and lose the final battle.
Yeah, I remember that Puffin Forest episode, I think.
Yeah. With the final boss surviving because the monk missed his attack.
Anyway, yeah, so after that happened, Midnight and Garius met with Cthulhu and Barbara, now called Mid, and things happened. Cthulhu kind of got frozen and once she was spoken to by someone inside Barbara, Midnight and Thingy left and found Barbara underneath her bed, and she basically said she's leaving forever, much to Midnight's dismay. Then Pixie offered to... Oh, wait. No, before that, Elysium grabbed Midnight and basically through Elysium and Midnight, they gave her Pixie a army of her own, a pack of her own that is ginormous. And because of that, Pixie then went to Garius' world, helped defeat his fifth, absorbed his power, and that's that. I think. Are we up to date? Hello?
He is back in. We'll be back in a second.
Oh. Whoops. I think that's everything. What do you guys think? Right? Am I wrong?
I think we have too many midnights.
Yeah, we have a mid and we have a night.
I'm gonna have to agree with that. Too many.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was thinking of supplying mid with a new name, but haven't managed to talk to her yet about such a thing. But
He doesn't care what you call her.
We could call it his love.
maybe later, but not yet. Besides, I'm not quite sure if he's fully aware of his feelings yet. Despite how obvious it is to everyone else, he's never been in a relationship before. And he's ridiculously old. He's at least as old as Script and that, and he has never had a girlfriend before. He's had a war to keep him occupied for all this time. He knows he feels something for her, but as far as he's concerned, she's tactically important. Maybe that's why he's so fascinated with her, because his gut's telling him that she's important. And she is important to him, but not for the reason he thinks.
All right. Let me paint a picture for you then. Now that we have recapped. Are you ready, my dear players?
No.
Yep.
But yes.
No, but it doesn't make a change.
Okay. So you are all sitting in your conference room on board the ULE Midnight. Script is there, Morphus is there, Elysium is there, and Lupina is there. And Script looks at Midnight and then at all of the others and says, well, guys, I think we have to address the elephant in the room, or the big misty wolf thing in the room.
Nods.
Nods as well.
And from what I have heard, looks again at Midnight, you have a plan to deal with that.
Yes.
Would you care to elaborate and tell the group about it?
Nods. Cthulhu's a danger, as you know. So, but she is far too powerful to go on head to head. At least magic-wise. But if we lead her to a place where there is no magic, we might have a chance. Brings up the dimensional thing again and points to your world without magic, hopefully. Yeah, I can do that.
Anyone have anything to say to that?
He's going to wait until he's heard the entire plan before he says anything. He wants to get all the information before he comments.
Once there, once she's through, she could easily just pop away. Her magic won't disappear immediately. So we need to distract her. I'm hoping Pixie and her new task force will be able to keep her distracted at least a little bit. Looks at Gareth.
I raise my hand.
Looks at Gareth. And I was hoping you might be able to provide some of your more mechanism forces.
My mechanized divisions are inbound. But as far as the distraction goes, I have utilized the genetic material from our dear friend Mid, who was under your bed a few days ago. And we have produced a cyborg version of her. It looks the same, sounds the same, and we have a crystal within it that generates a magic field that is as close to her magical field as is possible. It's not exact, but from a distance it should work. And I've rigged it to blow when she gets too close to it.
That'll be good to lead her in, and be a good distraction at first. Once she's there, Pixie's forces will basically try and rip her apart, and hopefully, once her magic is gone, we'll actually be able to rip her apart. We will need someone to stay here to make sure that we can get back. Because
I volunteer for that task.
Raises an eyebrow. You want to stay here?
In all fairness, love, Garius is the best fitted for the job. He has the same powers as I.
True. I'm just surprised, that's all. You've been very at the front lines, at least recently.
Combat is not my specialty, as I'm sure you are aware. My gauntlet helps me in combat, but I have no skill or inclination for it. However, making sure that things go smoothly in the background while you guys engage the enemy, I can organize reinforcements and hopefully provide some assistance while you're gone. After all, the world will not simply stop its rotation while you're gone.
Very true.
So you need someone capable of reacting swiftly to other threats while you're gone. And I think I fit the bill.
Alright. That's that sorted.
And if I may, 3 ships are inbound. I was going to send 1 ultimatum class super carrier, but given the feeling in my gut, I've decided to send 3. 1 will hold position above Aquus, another will hold position at the solar system's rim, and the third, the moving planet, will follow you into the universe. It's fully mechanical, it has no magical systems, so it won't be affected by a zero magic environment. The moving planet is the oldest and most venerable of all of my vessels, and should have more than enough troops on board to aid you in your mission.
Understood.
It's also very heavily armed, so nothing you find there should, hopefully, be able to take you down. At least not easily.
Mark, did you say Pixie was here?
She's not.
Okay. Looks at Gary.
Not to mention, it also has a carrying capacity that if you need to carry all of your troops and Lupin Arcane, it's big enough to actually carry everybody into that universe. So you can sit down in a place of your choosing. And it gives you a place to return to if you're in trouble.
Lupina raises her paw.
Yes?
Looks over.
I would suggest that your moving planet stays in this universe, keeping an eye on the Council of Light Forces.
That's what the other 2 will be for. The Age of Wrath and the Eternal Crusader will remain in system.
My point is, if we lure Cthulhu to a universe without magic, your ship will only be in the way. Orbital bombardment is not an option, especially not as long as we are still on the surface.
She's not wrong. This will happen on the surface rather than in the air. Yes, it may be able to transport us all, but so can a portal.
True, but I guess you'll want all of its troop complement in dropships that'll follow you through then. It has a lot of troops on board. It's simply more expedient to have the ship nearby to provide you with direct ground reinforcements. But let me know how many infantry you want, and I can send them through a portal with you. Just let me know how many you need. If you think it shouldn't come through, then I'll keep it next to Equus as well.
Also, has anyone actually seen Pixie and her giant wolves?
I have. Not recently, but I have seen them.
I may have.
Looks over. Where were they?
It is not so hard to miss. A bunch of prehistoric subjects of mine who have made their home not even 10 kilometers from the border of my realm.
At least it's not in your realm?
Lupina looks at you very displeased while also throwing a look at the lithium. Who just shrugs.
Midnight smirks a little. Hey, if worst comes to worst, we'll lose them in the dimension without magic.
Oh great, let loose 3-story high predators in a universe that can't defend itself against them.
No, I'm saying that they might get killed by Cthulhu. No offense.
If they get
he
too
does
out
have
of
more
hand, we
magic
can
than
send them back to Elysium.
No, because if they're there, they're going to die permanently. Their souls would be going to, if the 5 existed there, which I assume they don't. If there's no magic, then they'll just die permanently. No world,
no realm of the dead.
No realm of the dead. No place for them to go.
Well, that's only if they cause us too much issue.
Souls that die in that universe will very likely simply fade.
Then you all had better be incredibly careful.
Hey, if I could shrink her down and put her in a pixie jar, I would.
I'd love to see that.
Anyone else have any more questions?
Well, Vamo would ask, if that universe don't has magic, shouldn't she be able to feel that before she follows us there?
The thing is, since she came in contact with knowledge since she now knows what is actually going on and the way she reacted when she found out, I don't think she'd be thinking very clearly right now. And I think that's going to be her downfall. She's in rage mode.
This is where Morphus, it seems like every movement is hard for him. But he leans forward and he has the most serious expression on his face that you have ever seen on him.
More serious than when we broke the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you guys, from what my sources tell me, and he brings up a dimensional map himself, our dear Cthulhu, as our little Midnight has already said, is in rage mode. And he taps the hologram of the map, making 25 dimensions pop like bubbles.
Oh.
Light and dark, I presume?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She needs to be stopped immediately.
Yeah. I think the dark and the light could agree on that.
Maybe we can get a few forces of the dark side too?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Script looks at you, Ramo, raising an eyebrow.
What? You said yourself we should unite. And yeah, that was more meant as a joke to ease the situation a little bit.
Anyhow, as Morpheus has just shown us, I think we should move fast.
Agreed. Stands up. Anyone who's coming, go and get what you need. Morpheus, no offense, but you look in a lot of pain. I think you should stay. You won't be any use to us, half-cocked.
He grins at you maniacally. And then turns into a big stone golem. I think I very much know what I am capable of, Midnight. And there's no way in hell that I'm letting you go alone.
She won't be going alone. Far from
Actually,
it.
yeah, who is actually coming with me? I should probably ask that.
All of the other four get up.
Okay? Anyone else? I.e. Prof and Nightfall. Ramon Nightfall, are you coming?
Looking to Midnight and asking, and what's with us?
As much as I'd like you to stay, if you want to come, I won't stop you. But, looks at Garius, I don't think it's a good idea.
Actually,
If
you
prefers,
might
can stay
not
with
stop them. But I will.
Have I told Script about the Gem of Destiny?
Yes, you have.
Does anyone else know?
Basically, Garius had a vision where all of the pups were dead and Cthulhu was the
No, I mean the
murderer.
characters. These guys know, but I'm asking about the characters.
Yeah, you have told all of them.
Okay.
Okay.
That's at least what I was assuming. So,
Fair enough.
I look
Looks
to
at-
Ramo.
in fact, Script looks into the group. In fact, Ramo, Nightfall, I have a different task for the two of you.
Blinking. Surprise.
Well, anything that doesn't put me against all odds of survival, I'll take it.
Actually, I cannot promise you that.
Does it have better odds than going with you?
Yes.
Then that's good enough for me.
What I want you to do, and then I look at Garius. If Garius can provide you with a ship, small one would be nice.
Certainly.
I want you to go to that Council of Light outpost at the outer edges of our solar system and have an inconspicuous look around.
Boss, I'm gonna be honest. The way you said that, I'm gonna take that to mean that I should slaughter everyone.
No.
Pause.
Grant them access to my command ship. It has a stealth module and it's much faster and more nimble. And with its 6 frigates complement, it won't leave them defenseless.
That sounds very good. But no, Nightfall, I don't want you to slaughter everyone. I want you to gather information.
Well, it'll be a lot easier to gather information if all the remaining personnel are turned into corpses.
Okay,
No.
let me put it like
Answer is
this.
no.
No corpses. I leave it to you if you want to interrogate someone. But you are to keep people off Ramo's back as he gathers information from their systems. Am I making myself clear?
Crystal, boss.
If this makes any sense, remember, Cthulhu is the one running the light, but she's not the only one in there. Once she's gone, we want to try and keep some allies. Understood?
Looking to Nightfall and saying, and I think the information would be more valuable if they don't know that we have them.
Well, I
That's it.
mean, it's going to be hard for anyone to report us if they're all dead.
Oh, for God's
Yeah, but I think that would be pretty suspicious too.
sake.
I message
Anyway.
the alternate Midnight, Miss Midnight, on board my ship and let her know the plan and that she is in charge during that mission. She is puppy sitting both of them. And that no corpses are permitted. This is a non-lethal operation.
Unless in self-defense.
Would be
Even
exactly
in
my point.
self-defense, lethal force is a last resort. Get them out peacefully if possible. If no other option, then utilize lethal force.
Sir, I don't think you know who I am. I don't even know the definition of lethal force.
Don't worry. Miss Midnight will keep you on track. Lupina, can you please send a message to Pixie, since you know where they are, and let her know the plan?
Consider it done.
Oh, and see if she can do it without actually coming. Looks at script, because I don't actually know if we can control them without her.
I'm pretty sure that they will behave themselves.
Okay. Because I already know they don't like me. And if Lupina's company, yeah, okay, yeah, no, we might have something.
All right. Then I guess we should all go get ready.
I nod.
Nothing.
We will meet in an hour. On the outskirts of Canterlot.
I lean over the table. If I may ask one final question before I get on with my preparations. How many troops do you need, and do you want melee or ranged support?
Personally, I would prefer that you bring ranged support. That should, at the very least, minimize your casualties.
What about numbers? How many would be too many?
I don't think there's a number that would be too many.
That is the
Three we're
same.
talking about.
Bring people who
Okay,
are
then.
nimble. 100 should suffice. And tell them that as soon as it is too dicey for them to get out of there, we
And
don't
the
want any
ultimatum?
unnecessary casualties.
I'm going to be sending my robotic troopers, and I have 75,742,080 own bots ready for immediate deployment.
Wait, bots?
I have over 75.5 million own bots of roughly Terminator grade, ready for immediate deployment.
Still, 100 should suffice.
Very well. 100 own bots will be deployed. They haven't got very high firepower, but they're quite durable. Basically, they've got two hardlight cannons, and each cannon is basically a 45 Magnum level in strength. So they're pretty good against infantry, but against heavy vehicles, well, they can detonate their reactors inside their bodies, but that's about it.
All right.
So,
Everyone,
100 own bots will be sent.
let's hope we all get out of this alive. And Garius, I'm looking forward to seeing that cyborg you made.
Yep. I've programmed her to the best, well, we've programmed her to the best of our abilities. Won't fool her for long, especially not when she gets close, but it might fool her from a distance.
All right. And
She is on my command ship at the moment. I'll have her brought down with the troops.
Lupina, Elysium, and Morphus, without a word, get up and leave. Script looks at Midnight for a moment, then turns around and leaves as well.
I get up and leave.
What about you two? You guys gonna sit there?
Yeah, maybe we will. Who are you to judge?
I was expecting we should wait for our babysitter to arrive.
I said puppy sitter, but no.
Okay, puppy sitter.
Goes up to Ramo and gives him a hug. You stay safe now.
You too.
Don't let Nightfall make you do anything stupid.
Nightfall's not gonna make him do anything stupid. Nightfall's gonna be the one doing something stupid.
If you have to leave him, understood?
Okay, rude.
He's still sitting next to me, Mom.
Yeah, but let me put it this way. I would rather be getting Elysium to get him back than you. Because you have power that people can nick. Nightfall doesn't.
Point.
Understood? No.
Short question out of
Basic.
character. Visual, do I have a pen and paper?
Yes.
Okay.
You have anything you basically want. You have the power of creation.
Right. Okay. Then I create me a pen and paper and write something on it and give it to Nightfall.
You write him a note, okay?
Yeah.
Passing
Basically,
notes.
basically a card. Like for Monopoly. Come out of the prison card, but this one is out of
Get
the
out of
underworld.
jail free.
Midnight rolls her eyes and leaves. After script.
God.
All right. So should we do a time skip, or does anyone want a one-on-one talk with one of the other characters?
I don't need anything. You are free to skip time as you wish.
I'm going to say this. Midnight and script kiss once they're all ready before anyone else arrives.
I was just going to explain the portals opening and my ships coming out because they are quite something to behold, but that was about all I had planned.
All right, then we kiss, as Midnight said. Nightfall and Ramo sit very, very well behaved in two chairs on the bridge of Garius' command ship, while Miss Midnight is in the captain's chair. Lupina, Morphus, Elysium, Script, we four are, well, basically standing in a line, having a portal open to the worlds that Midnight indicated. And I guess that Garius brought his troops.
Yep, I'll give you a picture actually of what they look like, just so that you have a idea.
Put it in the dice roll check. Dice roll
Will
chat.
do. Open link. Copy.
And of course, the mid cyborg is also there.
Yep. They're basically about 7 foot tall, roughly.
Okay.
Like I said, each arm is a gun, but it's a pretty light gun as far as mechanical warriors are concerned, but reliable.
Okay. And I ask you, Garius, to send your robots, not the cyborg, through the portal.
I point to the portal and they all run forward, unflinching.
And I also, like Lupina, Morphus, Elysium, everyone except Script and Midnight follows your robots. And you, of course, Garius.
No, Garth isn't going.
Yeah, as I
I'm
said,
staying behind.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
that's what I said. And
I,
and then I look at Garius and I'm like, okay, what do we have to do to activate your cyborg?
she will detonate the moment.
No, I mean to
Cthulhu
get her active.
To turn her on. She
She's
better not
already
be active
active.
now, because if you're saying that, then she's technically you're already bringing Cthulhu to our universe.
Well-
Say she's not. Please say
Okay.
she's not.
Too late.
Love!
She's been active since she was made.
Why would you do that?
Well, her gem isn't active, if that's what you mean. The rest of her is active, but not the gem yet. Otherwise, we'd have to carry this massive lump of metal and flesh over here. And I'm not dragging that.
Oh, so the thing that replicates her magic isn't active.
No. And she'll activate
Okay.
that when the plan begins. She activates that herself. There's no on-off switch. It's a cyborg. There's flesh there.
Thank you for not freaking me out.
By the way, turn order today will be in the order that I see you guys on my screen in the chat.
Okay.
Which is?
Garius, Midnight, Nightfall, Ramo, I.
Okay.
Okay, so your cyborg starts walking towards the portal.
Yep. And, yeah.
And it begins to glow.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as it does, the night sky, because it's night, let's just say suddenly all the stars disappear.
Get through the portal now!
And Script gallops towards the portal,
Ditto.
grabs that cyborg under one of his hoofs, and drags her through the portal.
I click on my terminal and mechanically teleport back up to the moving planet then. I might as well be on board my ship when I teleport you all back.
Did I run through as well?
Yes, you did. You said so.
Good. Yeah.
So I
And-
engage the transmat.
And just as we come through, by the way, we are emerging onto a big grassy plain with a few rocks here and there that are about 2 meters high. But otherwise, there's no cover.
Mhm.
This huge black cloud comes shooting through the portal behind us.
Wait, question, where's Pixie?
Somewhere.
She's there,
Okay.
out of sight.
Okay. And her big wolves?
Also.
Okay.
How do they hide?
They're quite powerful. And sneaky.
Yes, Midnight almost failed a stealth check against them. But yeah, this giant black cloud emerges from the portal behind you, coalescing into the form of Cthulhu with her cold blue eyes looking down at you. And then the portal closes. Just poof! It's gone.
Okay. So, did you say she's on top of me?
No,
I don't know.
she
why.
looks down at you.
Oh, she's big. Yes, she forgot about that. Okay. Brain's not working.
Script, by the way, is
Wow.
still running.
I think the robots at this point would have stopped and turned around unless given instructions to the contrary.
Your robots actually start opening fire.
Excellent. You see
I
hard
keep
light
running.
rounds just fly towards her. Whether they do any damage is up to you.
She is completely unimpressed. It passes through her.
She's in mist form above us.
Mm-hmm. By the way, that I said script is still running should give you a clue.
Yeah, I'm running! I said I'm running!
All right. 1 second, guys. Also, you can now start writing your wills.
If it's any consolation, I'm not in the universe, so at the very least I won't die immediately.
Man, it sure would have sucked to have to go along on that mission.
You don't know what is awaiting us. Don't think it can be
True.
worse, but still.
Well, I'd say we have better odds of survival than they do.
I'd say you both just jinxed it.
I would
Well,
say
here's the
either,
thing.
but-
It can only go so sideways when Nightfall's here. Most of the time it goes sideways because Nightfall is here, but that's beside the point. Look, if I have
don't
to
punch every corpse you
inject
find.
liquid rust into someone's veins to get them to talk, I will do it.
No!
Yes.
No!
I will do what I have to.
You're not
giving the
alive.
permission to interrogate.
Yes.
Interrogate, not torture!
It's the same thing.
It's
It's
not!
the same thing in
Midnight is
Nightfall's
in
mind.
charge, and Miss Midnight will prevent you if she disagrees. And, yeah. She has an entire ship's worth of soldiers backing her up. So, Nightfall, I suggest you behave. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of rifle rounds in you.
I mean, it wouldn't be the
Just
first
saying.
time. It wouldn't be the
Sky
first
is a
time.
member of the ship.
Well,
Yeah,
he
you're not.
has a you come back from the underworld card. Signed by Little Boss.
Except here's the thing. He doesn't technically have a soul.
That means it can't be
Technically,
resurrected.
Cthulhu...
So it's hard to
Yeah.
bring back.
Cthulhu technically ate it.
Been nice
Ah.
knowing you,
That's
Nightfall.
already
There's
established.
a bumper.
I don't
Too
remember
bad.
that. I seem to recall signing my soul away to the devil for a deal he didn't complete. Or for a deal I
Alright.
didn't complete, or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I
Visual
just remember
change
I
of
screwed
heart.
over a demon on a deal. That's why I don't have a
Cthulhu has
soul.
already said that she ate your soul.
Yeah.
Was that something that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently it made her sick.
Yeah.
She was sick for a week.
Anyhow,
For
I will now do the turns of Lupina, Morphus, and Elysium,
Dead, dead, dead.
And Cthulhu.
and Cthulhu. As you are running past the robots that Garius provided, which are still firing, pew pew.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, and Pixie's turn also.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Cthulhu sweeps through the robots, through the rows of robots that have taken cover behind the rocks, and turns half of them to stone.
Yay. No. That's not good.
Doesn't really matter.
In front of you, Midnight, you see a still galloping script, still carrying that decoy,
Yeah.
running
So she's
to...
screaming, "Let me go!" So it does have Mid's personality. So imagine if you picked up Mid and dragged her off. That's basically what's going on. She's probably kicking at you right now.
Yeah, that's basically what's happening. Towards a row of trees. And as he reaches the edge of the trees, I now have to roll. Because at the edge of the trees, you see Lupina.
Okay.
She has her head lowered, ears back, and is snarling through her teeth.
Behind us or into the trees?
She's looking in your direction.
Okay.
For the first time since you had one of your very first heart-to-hearts with her, you actually see her without her toga. Meaning you see all the scars and missing fur on her body, which she usually hides beneath that toga. And just as you are only 10 meters away from her, she starts to charge in your direction.
Keeps running?
Script runs past her.
Okay. That's the eye, hopefully.
You run past her. And from behind you, you hear the loudest howl you have ever heard.
Oh, God.
I thought Midnight was going to join in for a second there.
I wasn't sure what she was about to do. Oh, damn it.
I will now do something. I have already told Garius and Prof this, but I had to heighten the maximum stats just for Cthulhu. You will now see what she rolls with.
What? Oh, we're doomed. We are doomed. We are just doomed. We're doomed.
1d40.
I don't think if a character sheet yet, so what?
I don't know why, but I was expecting a D100, honestly.
I don't need a character sheet for her, to be quite honest with you.
Okay.
Because it's all maxed out.
Basically. Okay. As Lupina's howl hits Cthulhu, she does not take any damage, and Lupina's earring has no effect.
What?
You see that throw, right?
I hell? No effect whatsoever?
None.
Last I checked, wasn't magical defense far lower than the actual magical attack stat? Lupina should
Yes.
still have rolled higher.
Garius, her stats are maxed out at 60.
Oh. Ah, so she has 3 times the limit we do.
Basically. So this is having no effect on her whatsoever. Lupina would have had to do a critical success even just for the earring to take effect.
Okay. Well, I can't do anything yet, really, because it's not my turn. Technically, it's Gary's turn.
Lupina looks quite confused. Because so far on Morphus this has always worked. And Cthulhu... You hear a very pained yelp from behind you.
Glances around.
You see Lupina collapsing. Bleeding out of her eyes, ears, and nose.
Keeps running. Tearfully.
As you emerge into the darkness of the forest, the shadows around you seem to be alive. And as Cthulhu enters the forest behind you, you hear a sound as if 2 buzzsaws are grinding against each other.
Morphus.
Who else? Now, as we know, our dear Morphus is still injured.
Yeah. Hey, Midnight tried.
And let's roll. You keep running, and the grinding sound disappears. Just fades. 1 second, guys.
Okay. Stuff's happening.
The thing is, Midnight knows there's nothing she can do. She just has to wait it out. She has to keep Cthulhu chasing her. And Script.
Well, apparently you haven't sensed them die yet, so who knows, maybe they're being left wounded.
That's her hope. If she keeps running, then maybe it'll be okay.
Well, I know what Darius is going to do on his next turn. And I know the realization he's going to jump to.
You keep running, am I right?
Yeah.
All right. In front of you, you see Elysium. And you run past her. As you keep running, the entire forest suddenly gets illuminated by a golden light. Do you look back?
Yeah.
She has erected a gargantuan magical shield in Cthulhu's Pass. And now it will be determined if Cthulhu will be stopped by that. And for how long?
Is this her role or Elysium's first?
This is the role of Cthulhu. The shield breaks. And the forest is once again plunged into darkness. As you keep running.
Yeah.
And now it's Garius' turn.
I'm going to attempt to scry the proceedings. I'm basically looking into a reflection. I've summoned a small bit of water and I'm trying to see what's going on in that universe. It's not like a portal, it's just like a seeing window, essentially.
All right, what you see is Lupina laying bleeding in a field, unmoving. There's no sign of Morphus. And you cannot find Elysium other than a few feathers, bloody feathers, on the ground.
I'm looking for Midnight. Do I find Midnight?
Yes, you do. You see her running through a forest, pursued by Cthulhu.
I tell the moving planet to ready itself for battle just in case things get worse. In which case I'm going to open a portal and I'm simply going to destroy the planet they're on if it comes to it. Cthulhu is not to leave that planet alive, and I do have a planet-cracking super laser on this thing. So at the very least, a direct hit from this should at least give her a damn good headache.
All right.
So, preparing for the worst, I ready my weapons.
All
I
right.
don't open the portal yet, but just the ship's readying itself.
Okay. Anything else you want to do?
Nope, I don't think there's much I can do. I guess I'll read the readings on my sensors to see if there's any activity from other universes coming in and checking the scouting reports from the other two ultimatums. But other than that, there's not much I can do.
Good. Then it's Midnight's turn.
I don't know. Script's still in front of me, right?
Yes, but you're slowly losing sight of him.
Guess it's your turn to slow the enemy down.
I would not suggest her trying to do that.
No. Because if she realizes, that that's not actually mid, then she actually might go after Midnight, and if Midnight can keep her there, she'd gladly give up her life. And right now, the best thing she can do is speed up. But I'm scared I might fall as well. So, just keeps running. There's not much I can do right now.
In a Sonic the Hedgehog.
All right, I will need our dear Midnight to do a perception check. Which she failed.
I'm going to fall now.
No. You're not.
It's perception, not athletics.
As you're running after Script, you suddenly feel that you're stepping on something that is not the forest floor.
Looks down.
And you see that the ground beneath you is metal, and you're standing right next to Garius.
What?
Is she still running when she's in my command bridge?
She basically barrels into you.
Okay.
Looks around, looks at guys. What the hell? What am I doing here?
Don't look at me. I did nothing. Damn it, that bloody bitch. I get up, and get to my command console, and I'm, try and scry the battle, but show Midnight what's going on. I'm trying to find the cyborg.
Did he accidentally bring me back?
I didn't do anything. I did nothing.
He did nothing. He's innocent.
Then what happened?
You stepped on something that Script dropped on purpose.
Runs over to Darius's shimmer thing and watches. What the hell's going on? Can you send me back?
No, he can't.
I could, but potentially, but not at the moment. Need to see what's going on. So does my scrying spell work this time round? I'm looking for the cyborg clone.
You see the cyborg clone discarded and ripped apart behind a tree.
Ah, so it didn't detonate then. Damn it. It had an antimatter reactor inside of it. That should have been quite the explosion.
Nope, the thing is basically, the middle of it has been atomized.
Ouch, yeah, that'll do it.
You see the upper half of it trying to crawl ahead, but very feeble movements.
Without power? That's impressive.
Hey, it's a cyborg. It wants to live.
True, but when it's a machine with no electricity running through it, that is impressive, you have to admit. It's like an Xbox running on without being plugged into the wall. It's awesome.
Anyhow, anything else you want to look for?
Script, I guess, is the only one I know that's not been accounted for as deceased or gravely injured.
You see Script on his hind hoofs hiding behind a tree.
I thought that was my turn.
Yes, sorry.
I'm freaking out!
Well, you're.
What's going on? Why is it? Why did he? What's?
Well, you
Ah!
can see Script.
I'm supposed to be
At the
there!
very least, you're looking at him now.
You bloody idiot.
You're talking to me or him?
Looks at Gary. Him, not you.
Well, if
I don't know what else to do. There's no choice. I don't know what to do. I can't get back. I don't have
You
that
see
power.
Cthulhu's mist spreading through the forest like fog.
fuck
Run.
it,
Get out of there.
I'm going to attempt to open a portal
Why
on my
hasn't her
next
magic
turn.
dissipated yet?
On my next chance of opportunity, I'm going to open a portal and engage with the Ultimatum class super carrier, the moving planet.
Well, no, because remember, we've still got Pixie and the guys, which, why haven't they jumped on her? Then again, she's in misform, so they can't really, so they're pretty much doomed. Why has her magic not disappeared yet?
Did you not notice
She
that
has a lot of magic.
Did you not notice that she was rolling a D35 earlier instead of a D40?
No, I didn't. How long is it gonna take?
A while.
Yeah.
You told me 5 minutes.
You know how I said I had millions of own bots?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting their dropships ready. I'm typing that into the console, and I'm about to open the portal and send all the dropships through. I'm literally just going to try and drown her in mechanical hard light lasers. Give her a nice big swarm of flies to deal with her.
Don't worry, that will happen soon.
Well, so roughly 10 million of them have now on dropships and are flying out forward, and on my next turn I'll open the portal.
Anything you want to do, say, or whatever, Midnight?
No.
Then it's Nightfall's turn. You are still sitting very well behaved on the bridge of Garius' command ship, which is on the way to the outer rims of the solar system, where the Council of Light has erected an outpost.
Looks over at Ramo. What do you think Midnight would consider acceptable overkill for interrogation?
Don't know, never interrogated one.
I'm gonna say it's probably stopping just short of killing them. I'd say that's probably the limit. But then again,
Yeah.
killing them would make it easier for us to deal with them.
Well, if it depends. If I understood it correctly, they want us that we go maybe on peace with them later. So a few dead bodies wouldn't bring it on the good side.
But at the same time, is it what's an acceptable amount of casualties? I mean, this is war. We gotta do what we gotta do.
If I understood correctly, the acceptable number of casualties is 0.
Miss Midnight looks over at the two of you. The pup is right. 0 casualties. Those are our orders. You, Pony, get out of line, and I will geld you.
Oh, I don't plan on killing anyone. I'll bring them very close to it, but I don't plan on killing anyone.
Let me put it this way. You hurt anyone without having to, And my crew will have you for dinner.
Look, if I need to
Nah,
cause
nah,
some
nah, 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 nah.
I will unleash a bioweapon on your crew if I have to.
I do not think that you want to deal with the aftermath of that.
I
Ramo.
think we should fight them, not us.
Ramo,
And
you
just-
have the laws of creation, correct?
More afterlife, not creation. Okay.
Yes,
You have the
do.
power of creation, yes.
Okay. So yes.
He thinks for a moment. Can you get me a syringe filled with liquid iron oxide?
Looking to the command seat.
No.
Looking back to Nightfall and saying, sorry, she's in command.
Alright then, I guess I'm gonna have to do it the messy way. I was hoping I could do it a nice clean way, just a quick pinprick, but I guess it's knife time.
You're not going to attack Miss Midnight, are you?
Oh no, I'm not. No,
Some
no,
of the
no, no,
guards
no, no,
at the
no,
door
no.
would be aiming
No,
their
no,
rifles
no,
at him at this
no.
point. You've got 2 guns trained on you, by the way.
Oh,
Just
I'm not
threaten
planning
their
attacking
commanding
anyone on the
officer.
ship.
You mentioned earlier using a bioweapon on the crew, and these 2 guards are part of the crew, so you kind of threatened them earlier.
Yeah, basically all eyes on the bridge are on you, Nightfall. Everyone
It
has
wouldn't be
their,
the first time.
and everyone
It
has
wouldn't
their
be
hand.
the first time.
Everyone has their hand on their holsters.
It's not the first time he's been in this situation.
Looking around and saying, I think the order was 0 casualties. I think that counts for us too.
Garius never specified that.
Therefore, it would be included.
Miss Midnight just smirks and keeps looking at the screen.
We were allowed to fight in self-defense. He did say you're allowed to kill in self-defense, and he is threatening the ship.
Typical Nightfall.
There's a loophole.
Oh, absolutely. Would you expect me to play him any way else?
No.
That'd probably really weird you out if I did play Nightfall any other way.
Yes. Totally.
Look, I was given permission to interrogate whoever I needed to. And I plan on interrogating whoever I need to.
Miss Midnight looks at you again. Then how about you try this? And she throws you a spray can.
What is this?
Basically an aerosol that doubles as a truth serum. Acts immediately.
Nightfall almost looks disappointed. Ah, but where's the fun in that?
It's
That's so
non-violent.
easy.
It's non-violent. And that's what our orders are.
No, they said not to kill. They didn't say we couldn't be violent. They said not to kill.
She rolls her eyes at you. Anything else you want to do, or do you want to keep annoying the nice wolf?
I kind of want to keep annoying her, but I know that's going to result in me probably getting shot. So that's maybe not the best option.
Also going to mention that a machine gun turret is just lowered from the ceiling and is now pointing at you. The ship
Oh,
itself
for-
is getting annoyed with you.
Oh, for the love of God.
Even the ship's pointing a gun at you now.
I will just say one last thing, and then I will let you decide if you want to end your turn. You see a spider on the armrest of your chair. Seat.
Hold on. I just remembered something you told me. But does that work? Does that work with just the normal ones?
Yes.
I would like to speak to the spider.
Okay.
Oh,
It's the perks that he now has.
Yeah, I got it for getting sprayed with spider guts, if I remember correctly.
Yes, but it also means that you are now permanently marred with having those spider guts on your face and you can't get them off.
Small price to pay.
So what would you like to say to the spider?
Well, firstly, I'd like to establish what kind of spider it is. Is it like... Let me put it this way. If it bit someone, what would it do? What would that bite do?
1 second. I need the English translation. Oak spider.
What is it? You know, I have to ask the question
Never
of what
heard
is
of
a
that.
spider doing in space?
might have crawled onto one of the crates, maybe? It
Basically.
might have come on with the crew?
Or are you asking that the spider?
Yeah, sure. I'll ask the spider how it got here.
How the hell should I know? I hatched and here I was.
Fair enough.
And why the heck can a pony understand me?
I'm gonna say it's because I executed a spider god. I think that's why. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
It just shrugs.
I like to think that Nightfall is just like staring at the spider on his armrest, speaking like everyone else can understand him, and it just looks like he's
No.
talking to himself.
No one else can understand you when you speak to the spider.
So he's just making clicky clacky chicken noises.
Yes.
Ugh. 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 Ugh.
Simply shaking my head when thinking you're going fully mad.
Oh, just like ugh. Just that I can hear like the chittering sound in my head, and it's ugh. I don't like it.
You know, just a hint. You could maybe use the spider for help.
You know what else I could do? I could pick the spider up and throw it at Miss Midnight, but where is that gonna get me? Exactly.
In the brig.
No, more likely in an airlock.
Good point.
Probably in a body bag as well.
You wouldn't need a body bag when she opens the airlock.
I'm just saying.
But the body bag might make him survive a bit longer, so you know.
Well, I mean, if he has a bullet in his head, he's already dead anyway, so... Oh, why do things always get so demented and off track when I...
Because you're
That's
fine.
just Nightfall.
Yeah, that's just Nightfall.
So you keep conversing with the spider?
If I could, if I had the capability to, I would just like give the spider a light pat on the head and then end my turn. But I don't take that as my action because I know you're gonna make me roll for it, and knowing my luck, I'm gonna fail it and I'm gonna just kill the spider. So I'm not taking that risk. I'm just gonna end my turn.
Okay, it's Ramos' turn now.
Looking to Miss Midnight, looking back to Nightfall and asking, should we call a doctor?
She leans over, looking past Ramo. I think he's just talking with the spider. I think it's okay.
Okay. Well, I
Believe
think
me.
whatever it takes that you two don't kill each other is an improvement.
She looks over at you again. Hey, one of my crew once had that ability. Believe me, making a wedding for a wolf and a spider is not that much fun.
Whatever you say.
And then she goes back to observing her readouts.
Any tips you could give me on infiltrating a space station?
Don't get caught.
Rolling my eyes.
Just what I was thinking.
Any not obvious tips?
Well, what usually works quite well, and she leans over the armrest of her captain's chair at you, is trying to make them think that you actually belong there.
Looking down at myself. This would need a little bit of work, but could go.
She rolls her eyes at you. You literally have the power of creation. Just look which race is running around there and change your shape.
That's what I meant with a little bit of work, but yeah.
So I would suggest that if you have to change your shape, if those are scrogs running around there, be careful.
Anything particular about Scrogs?
Well, you might be able to change your shape, but for you and me, it is still more natural to walk. Scrogs teleport around.
Yeah. Don't want to end in anyone's bedroom.
Or bathroom.
Or bathroom.
Or, given the size of his crocs, in someone's underwear drawer.
Yeah. Let's hope that aren't Scrogs.
Or blobs. That could also be a problem.
I think we can talk about this as soon as we know what we will face.
This might be a good idea. Also, if you really need to, you could just go to the armory and get a stealth suit or something. She looks past you at Nightfall. Want me to knock him out?
No. I think there was a reason he was. Papa sent him with on this mission.
All right. I'm not one to question that, but still. If you need him hit over the head, just let me know.
I will do.
Nightfall looks up. I'd like to say that I am perfectly capable of knocking myself out due to my own stupidity. Thanks.
I've read the reports of your last missions, and I am quite aware of that.
Where did I land it? I hope at least the others have a better start.
Doesn't know he has the best start.
I know, but I know. I wasn't aware of that.
All right. Do you end your turn, Ramo?
Okay.
All right. It's Script's turn. Script looks around very, very carefully from behind his tree. And he, of course, also notices the fog, the black fog that is spreading throughout the forest. So he attempts to get out of there. With teleportation. And he succeeds.
Yay!
he teleports to the other end of the forest, where Pixie and her Lupine Arcane are waiting. Pixie looks at her quite disheveled-looking father while standing on the head of the former alpha wolf of that pack. You okay, Dad? Don't ask stupid questions. And he then just trots past them, leaving the rest to her, basically. And
Really? I'm scared.
why are you scared?
Because Midnight will probably want to teleport immediately back.
You can't.
She doesn't see things changing. Why can't I?
That will be explained in a bit.
Okay.
At the latest, at Garius's turn.
I am going to attempt to open a portal using my powers, and it's only going to be long enough for my transports to jump through. The moment they're through, I close it again.
You will see what will happen when you do that. However, Cthulhu's fog starts oozing out of the forest towards Pixie and her people. And Pixie gets surrounded by her pack. We are talking 250,000 prehistoric giant wolves. And I assume that Midnight and Garius are still watching through the scrying mirror.
Yep.
You see this huge pack, all of them, pooling their magic into Pixie. Just this giant wave of blue magic flowing into Pixie.
We have a shot.
And Pixie, getting into a ready position as Cthulhu oozes out of that forest, howling at Cthulhu. The earring on her ear glowing very brightly as she does so. So bright that you two are almost blinded. And yes, what I'm going to roll now is Pixie's current actual medical strength. Okay?
Please hide, please hide, please hide, please hide. Of course. My current magical strength is 3.
Yeah, it seems about right.
No, please, no, 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 no. Come on.
Well,
Cthulhu does not get damaged at all. However, she does get forced into her physical form. And if any one of you asks now why that is, even though Lupina earlier rolled higher than Pixie here, is simply because Pixie right now is basically much more powerful in magical terms than Lupina was at that moment.
She's also a 5th, which means she's 4 times more powerful by default, and she has another 5th, which makes her essentially 10 times more powerful.
Exactly.
Plus the wolves on top of that, she's going to be orders of magnitude more powerful than Lupina.
However, since the roll was so low, she only has the ability to make Cthulhu, for the first time in eons, take her physical form. And through the scrying mirror, you see how, with a screech of agony, this fog culminates into the form of a reptile humanoid. So basically an anthropomorphic lizard wearing a red toga, a sword on her back, and a breastplate and wrist guards. And she's writhing on the ground in pure agony.
Midnight yells in the scary mirror. Now!
Okay, then we will have to roll. As Pixie and her Lupine Arcane, first of all, the Lupine Arcane, then Pixie, jump on Cthulhu. That is a roll of the first Lupine Arcane. This is her defense. Cthulhu does not quite get crushed under the first Lupine Arcane that is jumping towards her. But she does lose her left arm, as the claws and fangs of that Lupine Arcane try to rip her apart, but only manage to latch onto her left arm, ripping it clean off. Cthulhu takes 5 damage.
Oh, 5? Okay.
You should be happy she's taking damage at all.
Yeah. I am happy. She's in physical form. That should have happened ages ago.
Yeah, but for everyone who knows D&D and some JRPGs, Cthulhu immediately does a counterattack.
I know.
Darius is really considering whether he should open this portal and risk things turning around. This thing seems to be handled right now. He doesn't want to risk altering things.
She grabs her sword off her back with her right hand and whirlwinds towards the Lupine Arcane that just jumped on her. But that Lupina Arcane manages to roll to the side before her attack lands.
Yay!
You might have a shot here. Also, I will be right back. I have to pee.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
I want
actually-
your opinions right now. What do you think so far?
Good. Things,
I am on the edge of my seat.
things are going about as well as I anticipated. In fact, things are going far better than I anticipated.
Okay.
I honestly expected that we'd lose all of the 5 except for Midnight, and I'd be firing a planet-cracking super laser at her right now.
Well, right now, you've lost with the if what we are
You've lost
if we're going
expendable
if we are to
cannon
go
fodder.
No.
You've,
Hey!
hey, you've lost 4 members of the 5. I've simply lost mechanical scrap metal. I've literally lost scrap metal. That's literally all I've lost. You've lost more than I have. 100 robots? These robots are cheap
Yeah.
as chips. They're literally just mass-produced by the truckload for minimal cost. They're literally just a metal meat shield to take machine gun fire. They're literally a way of diverting anti-tank rounds from mortal troops. Since a normal machine gun will do nothing to these guys, you have to bring anti-tank weapons round, which don't have a good rate of fire. That's literally the only reason these guys exist. Anti-tank stuff. And to take those weapons away from the front lines. They're big meat shields.
What I was thinking, I mean, this universe don't has magic, and therefore no afterlife because it doesn't have their people. But if I understood it correctly, if you go to this universe, you hold your magic at least for a short moment. Shouldn't that mean that Elysium should at least for a short moment has control over the afterlife of this universe? Or isn't that how it works?
If none exists, there's none to
There
control.
isn't one. You
But
say.
that's what I mean. As soon as she enters it, before she lost her magic, shouldn't the afterlife exist at least for this short time?
No, she only controls her own.
Okay.
She theoretically can actually control others, but because there is no magic, there is no afterlife at all. It doesn't get created
Okay,
whenever
that was
she
my
enters,
point, but
if that
then-
makes sense. Though you can ask.
I will
David
when
if
it
you
comes
want,
back.
but
Comes
I'm
back.
pretty sure that's how it works.
Just an idea, because that's how I understood that the fifth works. That the part of them, or basically the part of Elysium, is the afterlife, and that means it should exist as long as she has magic.
I mean, if she's still alive, then she might be able to, if someone were to die, direct their souls into our world, potentially. But that would be a long shot, I think.
The problem is she could direct it, but to which portal? She can't open the portal to our world.
Like I said, it's a long shot, not likely
That
to
is
happen.
if she had her magic at all.
Cthulhu can open portals.
We were talking about Elysium.
No.
Ah,
What I was asking is basically this universe doesn't have an afterlife. But what
Mhm.
happened after Elysium entered it? If she can control the afterlife of another universe, shouldn't that mean that as soon as she entered, an afterlife would exist in this universe, at least
No.
as long as she has her power?
no.
Okay.
If there is no afterlife to begin with, then she would have to create one.
Okay.
And with no
And
magic
she-
in the universe to fuel it.
Exactly.
And she couldn't simply keep if someone dies, could she keep him with her like Barbara did?
She would have to absorb them for that, in the way Barbara did.
Okay.
And there's no returning from that if
Exactly.
serves.
Okay.
Okay, so we are still in the fight with Cthulhu. Pixie is attacking. She comes jumping down towards Cthulhu like a flaming meteor.
That doesn't surprise me.
Rolls of
What?
3.
What? I'm confused. How?
That's her power,
D20.
her physical power.
No, I'm asking why. I'm asking why is the dice giving her such low score?
To be fair, it's not favouring anybody particularly well.
Especially when I roll. Okay.
Do you want me to roll for her next time?
Pixie comes barreling down towards Cthulhu, aiming directly for her head. And Cthulhu just turns around, seeing the attack coming, because Pixie is not exactly quiet, roaring a battle cry as she comes down. And she readies her sword. Pixie just now realizes her mistake. As she basically lands on top of Cthulhu's blade.
Oof.
Being impaled right through the midsection.
Should be feeling that one in the morning.
Pixie takes 10 damage. Cthulhu then just, as if wiping her sword of blood, throws Pixie to the side. And this is when
Come on.
the pixie that is laying on the ground disappears in a puff of smoke and turns into script.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So it's script that's taking
Mhm.
10 damage?
And that's a lot more significant to him than it is a Pixie. Pixie, I think, would have survived that.
Oh, script does survive that, but barely.
There's
Oh,
one
cool.
life point left.
But I say, I think Pixie has 11, and I thought he had something like 8 or 9. So I thought, ah, crap.
Pixie actually has a lot more, but as Cthulhu is baffled by this development, let's see.
At least it explains the low numbers.
Yeah, that does explain that.
She gets tackled from behind. Pixie Cotton standing on top of her.
Heard Mad Daddy.
Basically, Pixie Cotton's eyes are right now glowing bright red. There is black smoke coming from her muzzle, her face is contorted in pure, unadulterated rage. As she stares down Cthulhu. And now it's Garius' turn.
Midnight puts a paw on Darius's shoulder. Don't open the portal. Not yet. She can still win this. If we open the portal, we give her a way out. She hasn't
I'm
realized
aware of
yet.
that, Midnight. That's why I haven't opened it yet. I'm tempted to, but I agree with your reasoning. I'm going on my main computer and I'm looking for the command ship, seeing what's going on in that part of the field, to see how close they are to the enemy.
That next turn they will reach the outpost.
Okay, I send a written message to it wishing her and the crew well, and yeah, reminding her that well, nightfall, from what I've seen, can be a bit of an issue, but I have complete faith in her to keep him under control.
To which you get a written message back reading, "With all due respect, sir, but this pony is talking with a spider while threatening to unleash a bioweapon on the crew."
So long as they're fully suited, they should be immune to most gas attacks. But I recommend disarming him until mission begins, and also have 4 soldiers accompany him no matter where he goes, even to the bathroom, just in case. He is not to be left alone for even a split second. And also check him for bioweapons.
To which you get a response back. The only bioweapon that he has unleashed so far is his abysmal smell.
Just to be safe, I don't want to risk the crew.
Don't forget, Miss Midnight is a bit of a racist, so...
Is she? Never knew that. I'm
She is
there every day.
She is a born Lupina Carne. She was raised under Lupina. Lupina on her during her baddest times.
Well, she hasn't been.
Meaning that she's prejudiced against any race that
She hasn't been
isn't Lupin
prejudiced
Arcana.
against Garius or any of his human crew yet.
Because they have proven their worth to her. To them, they are valuable allies.
Whereas
Exactly.
ponies are food.
Pretty much.
I have so many ideas.
Well,
Oh no.
The primary alliance we have with Equestria is mostly for changelings. Ponies are just. They happen to be on Equus.
Alright, do you end your turn, Garius?
Not much more I can do. So I just go back to looking at the mirror and preparing, just in case.
That's just one of them.
But if Pixie Cotton dies, I'm opening the portal right then and there, so I'm holding that action. If Pixie Cotton gets injured or gets killed, that
So you
portal
hold-
opens.
So you hold that as a reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it's Midnight's turn.
ask Garius, can he... Oh,
Can you repeat?
I'm thinking.
Saying, can I ask Garius? And then
I
you
stopped
the mic.
myself. Yes. I want to summon a blanket to wrap around myself.
Okay. Do a magic check.
Do I have to roll? Yeah. And then I'll describe the blanket.
You succeed.
Specific blanket. Yay! It's a blanket that the family sewed together when they were pups.
So basically you're summoning the Apple family quill. Okay.
Yeah.
Thought it was like
Basically.
how, you know,
But
Chase and
for-
the others.
Sorry?
Oh, right. I forgot you had a pony family before them. I thought it had been like a quilt that you, Chase, and Knight and others were making, but no, I forgot you had a pony family before them. That must be tiny.
No, this is one. This is one that Chase, Knight, me, the rest of the 5, and the pups made.
Because he said an apple family
It
quilt.
was-
I'm like, apple family quilt? Oh yeah, she was a pony once.
She was a wheat, not an apple. But no, he just meant just
Exactly.
like that one.
Whoops, my bad.
And she wrapped it around her, comfortingly, staring at the pool and watching
I
everything.
kind of looked down at her and
Slightly cursing script for...
I look down at midnight and go, worry not, I'm sure things will be fine in the end.
Also, as you summon this quilt, Chase pops up on your head.
Chase! What are you doing here?
You have to speak.
Oh wait, I'm Chase. Oh, damn it. Well, I don't know why he's here.
Just
Why is he
because he
here?
wanted to... First of all, he wanted to see why you basically got the blanket off his bed. And second of all, how you were doing, because you haven't seen each other in a while.
Hey Mom, what's going on? Hon? Go back home. Go back to the hospital where you were helping out or whatever. I'll talk to you later.
This place is safe if you want to keep him here. It's probably safer than most places.
That's not what I'm trying to do. Covers Chase's ears. I don't want him to see what's going on. He's an innocent little boy.
I erased
Okay,
the
Chase?
scrying mirror so that she gets to spend time with the little scrotch. The little, what was it called? Scrotch?
Scrox.
So now the mirror's gone, so no
Midnight shakes her
horrifying
head.
images. I go, you two, you should spend some time with your son. I think you could use the relaxation. I've got things here.
But I need to know what's going on.
If any,
I need to be
you
able
are
to be prepared.
We are prepared. If I need you, I'll let you know. But right now, I just need you to calm down. Just look after your son and just collect yourself, okay? Everything will be fine.
Fine. Okay. I'll just be in that corner. If anything happens, call me
Immediately.
over, okay? Goes over to a corner with Chase, wraps us both in the big blanket, and cuddles. Chase not understanding what's going on, but let's snuggles from mommy.
I reopen it the moment they're out of earshot. Out of eyesight, and I observe the battle again.
And And that's my thing over. I don't
Then
know.
it's Nightfall's turn.
Am I still just staring at this
Nightfall!
spider?
You have
Lovingly,
been
yes.
talking about web making and the taste of flies, but yes, you're still conversing with the spider.
Room design.
Which is very chatty for a spider.
Are spiders generally not?
No.
Huh. Good to know, good to know. Oh, wonderful captain. How long do we have till we get there? Because I want to get to work.
She looks over at you, rolls her eyes, and says, "Actually, we're just entering orbit."
Oh, that's
So the
good.
two of you can grab your things and report at the shuttle bay or the transmat room, whichever you would prefer.
Nightfall debates whether he wants to actually go get his actual equipment, and then decides that nah, he's just gonna take what he has on him, which is a knife and 2 other things.
Do you
Okay.
want to go to the armory and pick up a rifle? Or shotgun?
If I would pick up anything, I'd pick up
or-
a shotgun because it's gonna be a lot of tight corridors.
Well, they have hard light weapons of all variants, including shotguns. In fact, they even have a rocket launcher.
What good is a rocket launcher gonna do me?
Especially on a space
Breach and
station.
enter. Breach and enter. Besides, something big might be there. But
He
if
makes a
it's
good
space
point, but
station-
also that's really stupid.
Space
Well,
station, vacuum of
space station.
space.
True.
But also explosions. And possible collateral damage.
Well, the troops are mostly going in with SMGs, shotguns, and one person is bringing this massive block-like weapon, which is basically just a really heavy shoulder-mounted laser, which is lovingly referred to as the breaching laser. It's just this big, massive laser designed to just melt blast doors. Of course, this is a heavy weapons specialist with no secondary weapons. And it's about the size of a human torso. Legs included, actually. It's just this big, bulky thing.
I'm gonna take the knife out of my sheath and English, can you, not? I'm going to take the knife out of its sheath and inspect it.
Okay. You see a knife.
Very helpful. I never would have guessed that the knife-shaped object in my knife holster was a knife. I thought it was a gun.
What do you want me to say? It's a standard issue combat knife.
Alright, well that's good to know. That is actually useful information.
You also have your knife in your cybernetic hoof.
I actually forgot about that. I forgot that he was missing. I forgot about that whole experience. I mean, I forgot that he got his thing replaced.
Punch a corpse. Punch. Bite. Ow. Shouldn't have done that.
None of you are gonna let that go, are you?
No.
Despite the fact that you have
Nope.
all probably made just as stupid, if not stupider decisions.
Just going
They
meta
won't.
here, I think we should make a shirt for the
How can you go
Teespring store with Nightfall's avatar punching a corpse with the caption, "Sometimes you just need to punch a corpse."
Yes. Do it. Do it.
I feel like that would be offensive in some
Oh no,
shape or
you can go
form,
right
but
ahead. I
okay.
do not mind.
Not offensive to you, darling. I don't care if it's offensive to you.
I'm gonna check if I still have that syringe on me.
What's
If I
Which
still
one?
have the syringe on me.
Which one?
I have multiple?
You did find a syringe with a clear blue liquid in your
Oh.
last adventure, yes. And yes, you still have it.
I should probably,
One
yeah.
sec, my food is there.
Pizza.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out what that blue syringe does.
Are you going to inject yourself or someone else with it?
Are you crazy? I'm not gonna inject myself.
Not if you,
I was
even
about to
if
say,
it
what
gives
if
you
it
soul power?
hurts you?
Ah, you're right. It's either
The red pill?
it's
or the
either
blue
I
pill?
inject
pill?
myself and it turns out to be something awful, or I inject someone else and it turns out to be something good. That's gonna be
Well-
particularly worrisome if I'm injecting someone I'm
Ding, 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 ding.
interrogating.
I think that then we can call it Schrödinger syringe.
Hmm.
You could always inject it into Ramo, Sky, or Miss Midnight. They have magic.
Yeah, but then what if it's good? What then?
Then they'll
Then
thank
I'm just
you.
down
Then
a
they'll thank
syringe
you
of
for it.
mysterious liquid.
Yeah, but they
maybe,
might thank you for
maybe you could give a very little bit to the spider and see what happens. So you would still have enough to use on yourself because the spider would need clearly nothing.
You look thirsty.
And then
Alright.
maybe I've just killed the spider for no good reason.
There is a good reason you would know that it kills people.
You're right, but also I get along better with the spider than I do my commander, so
Point.
I don't know.
Yeah, but your commander is more used to you in combat than the spider is.
Midnight is only useful to me as a meat shield, okay?
Yeah,
Thank you
like-
very much.
Oh wow.
Miss Midnight, not Midnight, but
Don't say that to her face.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Nightfall gets
I'm
along
Midnight,
pretty well
she's
with
Miss
Midnight.
And Barbara is Mid.
Yeah,
They
if,
get along well
That's
enough.
if I listen back to your two first interactions with one another,
I can't remember our first interactions. What were they like?
Different?
I'm going to assume that it was
Sassy?
Nightfall being really sarcastic.
Yeah,
Very.
I remember that.
And that's how he always is, so that's not anything unique.
I mean,
Nightfall basically
nonchalant.
poking fun at the dead skeleton of a maid that lay in the archives.
I do. Now that you
Halloween
mention that,
one.
I do seem to remember that.
But-
He's just so casual.
Anyhow, you end your turn, or are you going to the Transmat or Shuttle Bay?
I'm gonna go to Shuttle Bay.
Okay.
How many soldiers are going with them?
None.
Okay.
So
they're just
due to
waiting
your
just in case they're
orders,
needed.
Due to your orders, Nightfall, at the very least, is escorted by 4 soldiers, constantly pointing their guns at him.
I'm gonna give them 2 more turns to live tops.
Okay.
I
don't
will
know.
put my money on they will be dead within 2 turns. Whether that
I
be from
guarantee you
Nightfall or
they'll
something
outlive
else,
you.
I don't know,
Who,
but
the
they're gonna be dead
guards or
within 2
you?
turns. That's my bet.
They'll outlive you. They'll make sure of that.
Rude. Rude.
Well, you reach the shuttle bay, and there is a shuttle waiting for you, including a pilot.
I suppose I should board that shuttle. Suppose that
And
would
you-
probably be the smart thing to do, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But there's also nothing stopping me from just yeeting Nightfall out the airlock into space. There's absolutely nothing stopping me.
You do that to my son,
There
and
is
you're already
actually,
going to
because
be
the
dead.
hangar bay with the dropships in, it's one of those the ceiling opens up. So you'd have to jump
You
up to the
forget I'm a
ceiling, tear the
Pegasus.
ceiling open. But you still have to open the Titanic blast doors above you, which once they open is going to vent all the oxygen in the room out. So you can either get in the ship, or the door opens and you lose all your air and explosive decompression. This is a
Those
very
sound like pretty
compact
good
ship.
odds to me. I'm gonna get in the shuttle though.
Okay, so you get
I
in the
recommend
shuttle.
it.
Now it's Ramos' turn.
I think before he would follow Nightfall, he would ask Miss Midnight if there's any way of telling with the sensors what exactly is on the space station.
She would look at you, then look at her readouts. Well, you are quite lucky. Your pony friend, maybe not so much.
So, our kind?
Yes.
Short question outside of character. I have the power of creation. I could disguise myself as anything I want. Could I do the same with Nightfall?
You could.
Okay. So, yeah. I
Depends
would.
on depends how well he takes the pain of his bones and flesh being rearranged. But yes, you could.
He'll live.
I would follow him to the shuttle bay and would say, if we see it correctly, the ones on the space station are Lupina Arcanae. So I don't need this, guys. What is your plan?
Nightfall,
Do I
you're
need a
being
plan?
asked. Yeah, basically over there, your dinner.
Oh,
Well,
please have Miss
let me
Midnight
put it
tell
this
him
way,
that.
Ramo. Either I go in there, he gestures towards the space station, and I take my chances with them, or I could have gone through a portal to try and kill an all-powerful space god. I think I'd rather take my chances with the wolves. But maybe I'm just crazy.
Mumbling to myself, cross out a maybe, and saying to you, well, I was only offering because I could disguise myself. Since I don't need it, maybe I could use this ability on you, if you want to.
Nightfall.
I don't. Or shrugging, I don't know. I could go as a cook and saying I deliver you to the kitchen.
You know, if I'm being perfectly honest here, Ramo, neither of these are good options.
Do you have a better idea?
Ideally, I could just, do my thing, slaughter everyone, and no one would be any the wiser.
One of the
But
guards
seeing
pokes you
as
with
we
his,
have
barrel of his
Miss
rifle.
Midnight in charge of this mission, that's not really an option.
One of the
Shrugging.
guards poke you, by the way.
Shrugging and saying, well, it's up to you. I can only offer it. And boarding the shuttle.
Alright, do it. Rearrange my bones.
Looking back. Saying,
I'm
okay. Short question. What exactly would I need to roll? How high?
Oh god. Oh Christ. Oh, I regret this decision
need-
immediately.
you need a total score of 30.
Happens if we crit fail
I'm
assist.
immediately regretting this decision.
So I need to roll at least a 10. What would happen if I fail this roll?
Ask me when you fail this roll.
Please don't do that to me.
Would look at you and saying, to be honest, I never did this before. So even if I think it's a good, it is a possibility. I can't guarantee you that everything works fine. Are you sure?
Mm,
Do it now.
Do it. Come on.
I would wait for his answer. Well, I would wait for his answer.
I'm gonna say
Because to be honest-
Nightfall's had a lot of near-death experiences, especially during this arc, but this is just about the closest I think I've actually gotten to like legitimately dying. I feel like this is the closest he's got to actually like.
No.
Mm,
I promise I won't kill you.
If I see it correctly, I need a total score of 30. I have a base of 20, so you have a 50-50 chance that everything went correct. That doesn't
Do
mean
it.
that if it...
Just do it. Do it now.
Okay.
Do it before I change my mind.
7.
3 too low.
Ooh.
Well,
Nightfall. You feel as Ramos' magic is enveloping you, seeping through your body, rearranging organs, rearranging bones. You close your eyes, gritting your teeth through the pain of the transformation. And as you open them again, you are a griffin female.
Not a dragon?
Ooh la la.
well,
Oops.
that could have gone worse. That could have been a hell of a lot worse. This is not what we needed, but I'm still alive. So that's something. And I think all of my organs and bones are in the correct places. So
The guys look you up and down.
Other than your reproductional organs. You are a female now.
Looking to you and asking, do you want me to try it again? I think I now get a hold to it.
that's actually a really good question. Oh god, I don't like this is kind of bad, but like at the same time, do I want to risk making it worse? Do I want to risk like losing all my organs?
Well, you're definitely prettier in this form, I imagine.
Don't worry, I will not outright kill you.
He's not that.
It might turn you into a
much for the
Minecraft
time.
creeper, though.
He,
With the urge to explode.
Okay,
and then you'll blow
but
up.
I have to ask the question, what would happen if you rolled a nat 1?
We will see if I roll in that one. But like Visual said, he won't kill you.
So if he does a critical fail,
Yeah.
House cat.
if he crit fails, you will be turned into a slug.
I mean, that's better than just violently getting my organs misplaced.
Yeah, you would have no bones at all anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's better than the alternative of bones or organs getting misplaced in my body. That would be incredibly
Just be
painful.
deleted.
Yeah, I mean,
I
No
promise
bones
you,
means
no
you can't
matter
break a
what.
bone.
I promise you, no matter what he rolls, this will not happen.
I will not die. I
No.
may suffer a lot, but I will not die. Could I just go in there as the Griffin? Like, would that work? Or would that
could,
just be would that be just as bad as going in as the Pegasus?
You could theoretically go in as a griffin.
I mean, it is female.
What are
Oh
you,
god, no,
trying
are
to
you crazy?
swoon
My
about?
seduction score is like 6. Are you not even that 5? Are you crazy? I don't have the seduction score to do that.
Who knows? Maybe one of them will try to swoon you.
No,
you're
but I
right,
can't-
you're right.
Good point. We don't
Yeah, I
know
kinda
how
wanna see that.
lovely of a griffin he looks right now.
He's like a Griffin supermodel right now.
This is very tempting just to see what happens, but at the same time, You know what?
Flowers?
Let's just go with it. We're just gonna roll with it. Once again, before I change my mind, let's just go.
Go
We're
in
gonna
the
take the
shuttle or go
griffin
with the
form and
road?
just go with it.
Okay, go in the shuttle.
Okay, next turn you will dock on the space station. Just saying this outright. I did not expect you to stay as a Griffin.
Well, that is unfortunate.
I might have to be very mean now.
Oh no. Oh god. Oh jeez.
Question: Should
Mädchen.
I change his ways in his character sheet for the time being?
His what?
Do we even have a griffin?
No, we don't.
Okay, then I can't.
What are let me see. What's the
Anyhow, it's now Script's turn.
There's not even a griffin on the character sheet.
Yep.
But seeing as Script is laying on the ground, slowly bleeding out, he ends his turn.
I sure do love it when my teammates leave me to die like that.
I can't do anything. If I open the portal, I risk letting Cthulhu out.
I think it would be.
Even if everyone dies, it's actually better just to
Mhm.
leave her there because she won't be able
If
to get
everyone
out.
dies, I can just fire a super laser into it. So,
Yeah, but you're still giving
not
her
if I
a
open
chance
it
to
just
get
long
out.
enough for the laser to come out and then close it. In which case, she flies through it, it just gets incinerated.
Okay,
And if she hasn't
Pixie
got
on
more
top of
magic.
Cthulhu. It opens her maw as wide as she can, breathes in, and howls. Or attempts to howl. Okay, this didn't work. That is a good roll, I would say.
Hmm?
That is also a good roll, I would say. Cthulhu reaches up just as Pixie is about to howl and holds her muzzle shut with her remaining hand. So the howl actually emanates from the sides of her muzzle. Hmm?
Does it do anything?
Yes. One ancient Lupine Arcane gets disintegrated.
Oops.
However, there's also someone who now has to make a saving throw. Yes.
Script?
He's laying right in the... No, she threw him right next to her and... Yeah. Looks like Pixie just killed her father.
Crispy pony.
Not crispy, more like disintegrated from the leg, from the waist up.
Oof.
Because that is a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
Basically, Script would take 8 damage, but he only has 1 health point left. So that's it. He's dead. which will lead Pixie to try to attack with her claws.
Oh dear.
Ooh!
Nat 20. Where was that a second ago?
She plunges her... Pixie raises up her right paw and slashes it across Cthulhu's face, taking out her left eye and dealing a total of 10 damage. Do you really want me to do Cthulhu's turn now?
What can she do?
You can't not, can you?
She's
Cthulhu?
only believe a doggy getting mauled. She
Oh!
crit fails.
Cthulhu attempts to throw Pixie off of herself by tightening the grip on her muzzle. But Pixie digs her claws into the ground so that she can't.
What does it say about the RP that the GM's character is the one that dies first?
She crit fails again. She attempts to use magic, but her concentration fails due to the pain in her face. Ooh. I didn't expect that.
Is that Pixie?
No, that's Cthulhu. As you know, 2 actions, 1
Oh.
attack. This is Cthulhu. Again, trying to use magic. Pushing through the pain, gritting her teeth. As she throws Pixie off of herself with one strong telekinetic blast. And now our dear Pixie will have to roll. Okay, let me see. Where's Pixie? There's Pixie.
Don't forget she's a
That was
dog
magic.
power.
We're now rolling physical.
Oh.
Pixie Cotton takes 2 damage while being thrown through 4 trees. And Cthulhu gets back up. Picking up her sword. One of the Lupinae Arcanae surrounding them jumps at her. She ducks, rolls, and guts the poor wolf in mid-flight. Plunging her sword into his underside, right under his throat, and pulling it through until till his tail, spilling guts all over the floor. Garius' turn.
Looking upon the proceedings with his usual grim expression, does a quick glance to Midnight, checking how she's doing, but doesn't show any emotion from what's just happened. And yeah, he's he sort of touches the purple gem given to him by Mid, and just mutters to himself, "What a mess! What a damned mess!" Question, are all of his robots in that universe trashed? I think they are, but I'm just checking.
The 50s that
Probably
were
not.
still operational after Cthulhu passed are currently trying to track her because they disappeared into the forest too fast for them to actually follow.
Well, I order them to route their way back to the entry point where the rest of them are. And very, very tempted to go there myself and see if I can save script or at least check to see if it was disintegrated from the waist up, but
From the waist up, yeah.
He's dead.
I'm going to use my fate power and see if there's any possible way to save script. So that's a magic check. 16. Is there any possible future from this point on where he survives? And if so, is there any hint of how it would happen?
No.
Then he simply prepares what he's going to say to Midnight when all this is over. He's not going to say anything yet because a distraught Midnight right now will be no use to anyone. But when things calm down, he'll break the news to her. And with that, I think my turn will end. With him just holding the purple gem.
Okay. No.
Does Midnight feel it?
You're in a different universe, and that universe has no magic, so the ripple wouldn't have existed.
No, I mean a different feeling.
No, you do not.
And she just keeps holding Chase. On to you, Nightfall.
I will need a moment myself. Before the hilarity of Nightfall meeting his new husband ensues.
Yeah, I mean, still, I can't believe it's a GM's character that
Come
dies
on.
first.
Kind of an anticlimactic way for that to end.
But what do you guys think of all that then?
Certainly something.
I mean, when Visual told us that we were all gonna die, this is kind of a strange backfire of the situation.
Or maybe it's not backfiring. Maybe that's exactly what he intended.
Maybe, but he
Who
said
are we
we're
to
all gonna
say?
die, and he's the only one who dies.
Well, he did say everyone would die, and he didn't say that he wasn't included in that.
And the fight isn't over yet.
Indeed.
But what I wanted to ask earlier, why do you think it is so dangerous to open a portal there, Garius? Shouldn't Cthulhu be still powerful enough to open a portal herself if she wants to?
Not while she's getting her face torn open, but the fear is if I open a portal, that's obviously most of the hard work done.
Okay.
Basically, even if I open a portal, there's a 0.1% chance she'll escape. That's a 0.1% chance that all this was for nothing.
Hmm.
And that Script's death would be in vain. And that, even if it's only a 0.1%, is still far too high a possibility.
Depends compared to the possibility that she beats all of the fighters and still has enough power to open the portal herself.
No, not in this universe. I think it's over for her no matter what happens.
If you say
But-
so.
Well, she's stuck in a corporeal form for the moment, and her magic is being drained away. She'll have no power, and she'll die of her own volition soon enough.
Hmm.
So it's a matter of waiting and not giving her a way out. Garius is really regretting not going now, wishing that there was something he could have done, even if it's just casting a healing spell on Script. But then again, who would be comforting or trying to reason with Midnight here and not trying to get her forcing her way back into the world? So he's also glad he's here to watch over Midnight. But he doesn't like it. Not one bit.
I know how us pups will feel after we realized it.
Hmm. I mean, Garius didn't really know Green Script that well, so it's not really that he personally feels a great loss, but he knows that his allies are going to feel a great loss, and this is going to hit all of you massively. So it's more what it's going to do to you guys that he's more distressed with than anything else. As cold as that sounds.
It's gonna be really interesting to see what happens to Nightfall, because he's now not got an employer, and he doesn't handle death real well.
1 second, please. Can we go back to Midnight's turn for a second? Midnight? You feel something buzzing in your pocket.
Right?
In your paw, you hold a shining golden orb.
What is it?
Which you recognize as the essence of the world.
Why do I have it?
Well, you are now its guardian.
Midnight smiles sadly. And pulls Chase closer. Come on, let's have some fun in this.
All right. I just, until your next turn, want you to remember you have the essence of the world. Okay, off to Nightfall. So your
Come on,
shuttle, so your shuttle docks at the airlock of the space station. As the two of you exit the shuttle, you are greeted by 5 Lupine Arcane soldiers and 1 Griffin officer. The 5 soldiers aiming their guns at you. And the officer demands of you, "Who are you? What is your business? And why have you docked without clearance?"
Nightfall chooses to say nothing because I don't have any of that information readily available to me, and I cannot come up with names or excuses on the fly to save my life.
Just flutter your
That's a
eyelashes.
good question.
How have you
Use
survived
your
this
feminine
long?
charms.
Just for that, I want to attack him. Just because you said that, I want to go stab him.
Ramo, any reaction from you?
If scholarship was to read something, what would I need to roll to try to remember something? Or if I actually want to go back on my not very big military knowledge.
That would also be scholarship.
Okay. I try to remember if there would be any reason for a soldier that a female would visit him.
Yes, there is actually a protocol that says, in case of emergency, pregnancy, or death, female relatives are allowed to visit soldiers at their station unannounced.
I don't know what.
Nightfall, I
military
think
base
you're
that
going to
came
lay an
from.
egg.
I have some very strong feelings about all of this,
In your
none of which I
abdominal-
can say here.
In your abdominal area, I suppose.
I guarantee you, if Script was still alive, I would gut him for this. I may very well gut Ramos for this.
Looking to the soldiers and a little bit confused and saying, "You weren't informed. One of your soldiers had a little accident at his last
Shore leave.
day off. Shore leave, yeah, thanks."
The officer raises an eyebrow. What exactly do you mean?
Looking to him, tilting my head and saying, "I speak from an accident at a shore leave and I'm coming here with a female griffin. What do you think I mean?"
Can I just ask a quick question? What are the chances that I can just intimidate this officer?
Not good.
What are the chances I can persuade this officer? Okay, let me put it this way. Out of my 4 speech skills, which do I have the highest chance of succeeding on?
You don't want to know.
Seduction.
I knew
probably.
it. I knew it was seduction.
Yes, because you have 3 intimidation, 4 persuasion, and 5 seduction.
To be fair, my highest is seduction as well at 15.
Okay.
Or...
Do whatever floats your boat, I guess. However, the officer clicks the claw on the floor a bit impatiently.
What's the difference between manipulation and persuasion?
Manipulate him to do something that he doesn't actually want to do, and persuasion to make him want to do what you want.
Alright, so it's basically just the difference between whether he wants to do the thing or doesn't want to do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or whether he thinks he wants to do the thing or not.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I want to ask one more question. Does me having a knife to his throat increase my intimidation points at all?
You're forgetting 5 guns that are pointed at you.
Still, having a hostage
Standing.
is generally a good idea in these sorts of situations, I've learned.
Nightfall, just seduce him already, or let
Yeah, I'm
Ramos
just
escape.
not gonna say anything because I don't have anything to say.
The officer looks at Ramo. So what you are saying is that this young lady here...
Is going to lay an egg, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And you're saying that a Griffin officer from this base is the sire of that egg.
I didn't say anything about a Griffin officer.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Okay. Gross, but not unheard of.
Well, if you're not informed about it, and I think it falls under privacy, I think you know the rules as good as I know, how strict they can be with something like this.
So... you wouldn't mind at least handing me some kind of, I don't know, identification?
Do I have something like the holo paper Doctor Who has?
No, you don't.
Damn it.
You could try a magic check to try and create something like that.
Does Miss Midnight do anything?
Okay.
What attribute does knife throwing fall under?
Dexterity.
I try a
Okay,
magic
okay.
ball,
Screen.
but I try to do a magic ball while I look in my pockets. Good enough.
Why? Why do I allow such things?
Yeah, I think now I have a holo
That's
paper, or how exactly it was
No.
called in English version.
Now you have the telepathic paper,
Okay, that's its name.
or psychoactive paper. It shows
Psychic paper.
psychic paper. Shows the person looking at it exactly what you want them to see, unless they pass an intelligence check.
Okay, I would show him the paper.
What do you want it to say?
BRB.
Here, that should clarify everything you need to know.
Okay.
Damn it!
Oh wow. This is where all the high numbers went.
And why, pray tell, do you hand me a blank sheet of paper?
Blinking, a little bit confused.
Maybe you should have tried to actually summon a forged paper or something instead of going for psychic paper, but okay.
So is this the point where we have to start killing people? 'Cause this seems like it might be the point where we might have to start killing people.
I think shortly. I think the problem, if I would summon a forged paper, then I need to know how it looks like. With this paper, I only need him to know how it looks like.
Mhm.
Therefore,
Well, it doesn't matter if you
first.
fail your skill checks.
He didn't fail, that's the thing. Everybody succeeded.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
There was another
so
officer.
he failed.
There was another officer here too, or there were with 2 guys.
No.
No, only one.
One Griffin officer, 5 Lupina Arcane soldiers.
Ah, Griffin officer. They are very greedy.
Mm-hmm. You want to bribe your way in?
I'm
With
thinking about it.
5+ witnesses? That's maybe not the best idea.
Have I any idea what they're using for currency?
No.
Oh, Lord.
Damn it. Blinking a little bit, then holding it to one of the Lupina Arcana warriors and saying, "Is this maybe it's the lighting? You can you see what's on this?"
Okay, another check.
I like to think Nightfall is just like sitting there, like shaking his head in disappointment.
It has to be retyped.
Yes.
Okay. The Lupina Arcane soldier takes the sheet of paper. You see his eyes fly over the paper, the blank sheet of paper,
Mm.
before he turns to his officer and says, "Sir, this says that this Griffin is the girlfriend of the High Knight General, and that she has all clearance for all areas, signed by Cthulhu herself."
That's likely.
To which the Griffin officer, like snatches a piece of paper out of his soldier's hand and takes a look at it again.
He's still questioning what he saw before.
Yes.
I was gonna laugh if it's failed again, and he's just like,
Me
"This is a
too.
blank piece of paper. What?"
And he reads it. You see the feathers on his face going damp because he's starting to sweat. And then he hits his soldier over the head, saying, "You idiot! This doesn't say that she's the High Knights General's girlfriend. This says she is the new High Knights General." Oh, sorry, man.
Okay.
This is not going as planned.
So?
I guess I made the right decision keeping my mouth shut.
Most definitely.
Your beak. But yeah, the soldiers immediately scramble aside. And the officer just bows to you and shows you, like, indicates a direction with one of his claws.
I nod and go in that general direction.
And he starts following you, and you feel his stare on your posterior.
I should have known I wasn't going to get out of this that easily.
Nope.
Hey, you already had intercourse with Elysium at one point.
Oh, Christ, you're right. Oh, God. Oh,
Wait,
I didn't
when?
need to remember that. I really didn't want to remember that. That happened. That did happen. I remember that now.
During our baby party? When Elysium just carried him off?
Oh yeah!
Sure,
that
it was
was
nice
basically
of them.
non-consensual, if I remember.
Yeah.
I did
So
not
was
ask
me
for
and
that, and
Papa.
it just kind of happened.
Join the
Lord.
club, dude. Join the club.
Oh, Lord.
You're not the only one.
Don't forget, Griffins are like Klingons in this aspect.
Can I just stab him? Can I just stab him just to get rid of him?
No!
He'd likely see that as you courting him.
Oh, God, you're right. Alright, I'm gonna turn around and tell him, keep your eyes off of me, or I will have you court-martialed faster than you can blink.
He just smirks at you.
See that as... He sees that as courting too.
Now can I put the knife to his throat? Or do I need to talk a little bit more? Or can I just put the knife to his throat now? Look,
No! Finish
I'm
your
trying to
mission!
deal with any loose ends here, and this guy seems like a pretty big loose end.
Or you could be the new general who's looking things up, who now needs to know everything about.
You're right, but I still want to kill him.
So you.
Hey, he just wants your butt.
I mean, who wouldn't?
True.
Good lord. This is just
You eventually reach a door, and next to that door is a sign that reads High Knights General Blood. Blood.
Okay, so what am I expected to do about the last one?
Well, he or she is still in her quarters.
Yes, but what am I expected to do about that? Am I expected to tell them they've been replaced, or am I expected to just kill them in ritualistic combat? I'm not natively a griffin. What do you want me to do?
Maybe look first what gender it has and what
No, but
orientation.
like I was seriously asking. What do I do? But how do it? Are they?
Maybe
do I just
find
tell
out-
them they've been dismissed from their posts?
Maybe find out what race it is first.
Again, it's still.
The name Burl should give you a good idea.
Oh, that was the name.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Well, I mean, judging by the fact that it seems like all of their... I'm gonna go on the assumption that it's a griffin due to the fact that griffin officers in Lupine and Carne grunts.
Have you ever encountered a griffin named Blah?
I don't
I've
think
rarely
I've
encountered
anyone
griffins,
named
period! So maybe?
I
Just
can tell you
no.
right now. No.
Just no.
No.
No?
No.
I'm not quite sure what you said there, Midnight. Was it no?
No.
Well, technically
Don't
it is
make me
correct
slap you.
because the officer is a griffin.
I mean, that's not a bad assumption to run under, let's be fair here.
You also see blue slime oozing out from under the door.
Ah, okay. Look, I'm
That give you an
I'm just stupid, okay? Dude,
Read
why
my
are you
mind.
all so mean to me today?
Hey, you've just been turned into a female griffin.
Yeah, that doesn't mean my IQ changed.
I have not insulted
No, that's the
you
point.
yet.
Can I just eat it? Can I just eat the previous High Knight General? Whatever it was, Lieutenant Knight General. I've completely forgotten the title already.
Left,
No!
get him, let him go right.
Well, I can tell there's gonna be no stabbing involved. Okay, is this one of those is this like a traditional hinge door or is it like a pneumatic door?
It's a pneumatic door.
Okay, because if it was a hinge door, I was absolutely gonna kick it open. Okay, well I'm just gonna open the door and say, hey, guess what? You've been replaced. Get out.
As the door slides open, I need you to do a brawl check.
Oh Christ.
The same goes for Ramo.
Oh, come on.
That's worrying.
Can't I simply go a step to the side?
That's worrying. That's really, really worrying. Why do I have to do a brawl check? Why does he have to do a brawl check? You know what? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and sign my own death warrant now, thanks.
Right. The door opens, and a deluge of blue slime covers the both of you as the Griffin officer has, in wise foresight, stood a few feet back.
If I was anything resembling intelligent, I probably wouldn't have stood directly in front of the door, but you know, it's whatever.
And as you are standing there, covered in blue, sticky slime that smells
Ugh,
like sewage,
Don't describe it like that. There's already enough bad implications here. Don't make them worse.
the slime starts talking.
Not the weirdest thing I've heard today.
Just
Look, mate, I've come here to replace you, so like, if you could just go, I'd really appreciate that. Just make my life a lot easier.
Nowhere.
Look, you've been dismissed from this post. I don't know what to tell you. I just got the announcement and just got flown out here, so I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. But apparently this is the way that it is now.
The slime starts quivering on the two of you. Kind of as if it's sobbing.
Angry gelatinous noises.
And then starts, well, some of it starts oozing its way down the corridor.
Whoa.
no, I feel sorry for it.
So you two are still covered in what it left behind.
Looking to the male Griffin and saying, I hope you have showers here.
He just cocks his head at you. Yes, this griffin does not know what a shower is.
Okay, I was thinking I said something wrong.
You could say a bird bath.
I'm
that might
pretty
work.
sure that's more than a little bit racist, but okay.
It would only be half racist, since he's only half bird.
Ah, right.
But he's got a bird brain.
Christ.
Shaking my head and saying, never mind. I think I will find it myself.
Okay. Then I guess we go from there to Pixie's turn. Pixie is laying in the ruins of 4 trees. Shakes herself, gets back up, and looks as Cthulhu happily guts one of her subordinates after the other. However, she also notices that she herself has no magic anymore. At least, non-internal magic. And here comes something into play that I will have to explain to those who have not been privy to that information yet. Even in a world without magic, magical artifacts still work.
A gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
Her armor.
That is something that you needed to know. I think Garius already knew, but... So, Pixie smirks, goes down into an attack position like a cat, wiggling her butt, and uses her magic to propel herself forwards towards Cthulhu. This is for the propulsion. Ooh. Okay, she doesn't get very far with this propelled jump, actually landing in the dirt 10 feet from where she stood.
Hop, skip, and another jump.
She gets back up, sees another one of her subordinates being decapitated. Yes, Cthulhu is a very scary fighter. As you might have noticed by now.
Just a little.
And instead, she rushes Cthulhu now. Oh. Cthulhu sees this hunk of metal rushing towards her. And turns to defend herself. Come on, Dice Maiden. Do, 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 do. Is it glitched again?
Are we dead yet? Are we dead yet? Let's wait for the dice roll. Are we dead yet? Are we dead yet?
Careful, love. Don't spam it.
Yes, we are.
Okay, we are taking the first roll there. What?
Oh.
Okay, I'll take the second. You
I'm
know
so
that this
hoping
is
you take the
Cthulhu's
second.
defense roll, right?
No! No! Don't! You're GM. You know right. Please do yours.
You wanted the second. Here goes the second.
No! Please! I got
Visual?
confused. I thought this was,
Huh?
I thought
Even
this
if
was
Midnight is
something else.
confused,
I'm
stick to the
sorry, I got
rules. First
confused.
answer counts.
I know. 3 it is. So, Pixie
Careful,
jumps
push for midnight.
Cthulhu. And Cthulhu blocks the attack with her sword. Pixie biting into the blade, before Cthulhu throws her off to the side, neither of them taking damage. You okay, love? Okay.
Yeah.
Pixie starts a third attempt to attack her. With bared teeth and claws extended, she jumps at Cthulhu so that all 4 of her paws are facing Cthulhu's body. Which, and people will likely hate me for this, if the Dice Maiden actually does it. So we have a 14, 11, 9, and 1. And Cthulhu manages to parry all 4 of those attacks. Now it is Cthulhu's turn. Pixie has, by the way, rolled aside, landing on all 4s, after Cthulhu has brushed her paws away with the back end of her sword. Cthulhu readies herself, going into a fighting stance. She rushes towards Pixie, but Pixie sees the attack coming and jumps aside. Neither one take damage, though Cthulhu does stumble slightly as her sword swings through the air where Pixie just stood. And she tries again, turning around in a pirouette, trying to hit Pixie. Who, once again, just ducks under her blade and doesn't get hit. Cthulhu tries to step downwards towards Pixie, which Pixie uses as an opportunity to bite into Cthulhu's blade and try to disarm her. Meaning brawl check. No, strength check. Ooh. Cthulhu manages to pull her blade out of Pixie's jaws, cutting Pixie's tongue with her blade, causing 1 damage. Hey, you must admit, Pixie is holding her own quite well right now.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
One more Lupine Arcane jumps at Cthulhu. She whirls around and then starts moving her blade very quickly in a grid pattern. Pixie then just says, "Ew," as pureed ancient Lupine Arcane starts raining down on the two of them. Now it's Garius' turn again.
Okay. Garius is starting to lose his shit. He's not happy at the moment. Very, very much so not happy with the current situation. He's going to attempt to teleport himself onto the battlefield and take the fight to her himself.
To Cthulhu.
I can teleport
He
in
can't.
because I
He
have
can't.
script powers. I think dimension hopping is one thing that I have that's a little bit better than most.
Exactly.
But then no one else can open a portal here. We need you here.
Damn it. He hates the thought of just standing here and doing nothing.
The only one who would be able to open another portal is Silver Star. But no one knows where Silver Star currently is.
Question, I can see the battle. Am I capable of manipulating the battle with magic at all? Connecting to the fighters?
What do you mean?
Psychic connection. Can I open a connection to
You can do
One of-
telepathy.
telepathy?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to rush my mind essentially at Cthulhu and try and blind her with just, you know, when you just shout loads of random stuff and it's just to sort of drown out her thoughts?
Trying
Basically,
to...
just sending everything at her.
You're trying to do a DDoS attack on Cthulhu's mind, okay?
Basically. Just screw her over and make her lose track of what's going on.
Okay.
Dice Maiden, please be good. 10. Crap. Damn it.
Instead of you drowning out her thoughts, you get a massive headache as Cthulhu roars back at you in your mind to shut up.
I take a step back and lower the connection.
Sounds about right.
You what? Okay.
He stops
What was that?
the connection. He breaks it.
I said I'd take
He
a
didn't
step
understand
back
what you
and
said, so I just clarified.
collect myself from that and cut off the connection.
Okay.
And just kind of glare at the scrying mirror.
In which you see Cthulhu right now grabbing one of the Lupine Arcane with her teeth by its tail and throwing him so far into the air that it leaves the atmosphere.
He He's kind of lowly growling himself. He's not happy.
She is an avatar of war, so
Doesn't make it any better.
yeah, but you knew this would be a tough fight.
Yes, now he's wishing he was there, but also knowing that he's definitely wishing that he had gone instead of Script.
Yeah, well, too late for that now. He's a dead pony.
Script wouldn't have Yeah, I know. But he wouldn't have accepted that anyway.
Nope. Not in a million years.
Because he'd have to entrust his children to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Anyhow.
Midnight's turn now.
Mm-hmm.
Midnight looks closer at the essence, wiping her tear away, wondering why it buzzed in the first place. And why Script would give it to her without her even noticing.
Well, you could roll an investigation check to try and find out.
Okay.
You
Are you serious?
can't come up with anything.
Does she see me stagger at all?
Tries again.
Yes, out of the corner of her eye.
She's gonna investigate that in a sec, but she's more curious about this right now. Really?
You think that Script gave it to you in case he didn't return.
That still doesn't explain the buzzing. Then she realized she might be able to ask Darius about it. She puts Chase down, puts the essence back in her pocket, which I don't even know how she has, and walks over to Darius. What's going on?
I thought I'd help
You
the
take a
fight
step
by
back.
telepathically assaulting Cthulhu, but that didn't work. The fight's not going well. We're one down,
How are they doing?
and most of, if not all of, Pixie Cotton's Lupin Arcane are down. Haven't seen Elysium, only Blood and Feathers, so potentially 2 down. Haven't seen Morphus, so maybe 3 down. Things are not looking good at all.
And Lupina? Wait. Who? Script. Is he dying?
Pixie Cotton attacked Cthulhu and her father got caught in the blast. Sorry, but he won't be getting back up again.
Midnight closes her eyes and looks down at and puts her hand on her paw on her pocket. What can you tell me about the world's
Not
essence?
much. It's not a phenomenon I personally believed in, but there are a lot of things that I have no knowledge of, much to my chagrin. But no,
Have you ever
never
heard
even
of them
seen one
buzzing?
in person before. I don't know. Never
Takes
seen
it out
anything
and
like
shows
that.
them.
I don't know who, if anyone in my world has that. It's not owned by me. If Reaper owns one, he's never shown me. No one, I don't know anybody who has it, but
Why would it buzz? Like, I have come across these before. We put in there's a like a holodeck where Script put an essence of a world where the memory of them could be lived out. But if this is our world,
Because it's got a new owner,
why would
maybe.
Buzz? Why?
Because the 5 are threatened. It's anyone's guess.
No. Maybe?
Minutes
When
ago.
did Script die?
Maybe
How long ago?
2-3 minutes ago, maybe.
The same time it buzzed. Okay, I'm just gonna try this again. Alan tries to think again. There has to be something. These two things
Garius
don't
already
buzz.
told you.
They don't. So why would this buzz?
Transfer of ownership.
Because it has a new owner.
At least that was his theory. He places a giant gauntlet hand on Midnight's shoulder or back or whatever it is wolves have. I'm sorry for your loss.
Let me know when Cthulhu's dead. And walks back over to Chase.
I open the portal and send my troops in. Well, it's either that or you lose your last remaining child and potentially the others.
She's not gonna lose. She's
He
not
has
gonna
a
lose.
portal
She still has
open.
a chance. Right now they're even.
However, I will
Ugh.
be right back and let all of you mull over what this means.
Well,
The losses have already been too great.
that's always
No, it hasn't been. You open that portal,
It's
you
always the point I don't
possibly allow
understand.
her to gain her magic back.
Well, people are flawed creatures, and Garius is no exception.
but the point is, you could have done this at the beginning, where it could actually
Yes.
matter. But no, it is always waited till the last moment when you nearly lost everything to then give the villain the chance to escape.
I'm not saying he's thinking clearly.
And not only that, Pixie isn't losing! None of them, right now, we're at a stalemate. Pixie isn't losing. There was nothing going on there that would have meant that they were losing. In
The only
fact,
reason
in
it's
many
been a
ways, Pixie was
stalemate is
winning.
because she's had wolves to throw into the meat grinder. Now she's out of wolves to throw at her. They're now at 1-on-1. Or she's nearly out.
She's not out of wolves yet. No, she has hundreds of them. Also, she still has her magic technically, so she has the advantage now. We are in the climax of the fight. Cthulhu is at the worst stakes. She can lose. You open a portal. Now she has a chance to escape. Not only that, but she could also get her magic back because there's a world open where she has which has magic. So now you've possibly turned the tables in the opposite direction.
You can always tackle him or
Pixie
try and
finally has
stop
a chance.
It's not like he's mentally focused right now.
No point.
I
The
said I'm
portal's
going
open.
to
Visual's
open
already
it.
said,
You
the
can
portal's
always say
open.
I want to challenge his
There's
opening the
nothing Midnight
portal
can-
and stop him.
No. Visual's already said the portal is open. There you go. It's done.
When he comes back, we can always just ask him for me and you to do a roll.
It's already set. You know how he handles that.
Okay, guys. Just so you know, I'm going to roll a d4.
Uh-oh.
Garius, you have now opened the portal. with intent to send your troops through.
Yep.
There are
Should
four.
only take a few seconds.
There are 4 possible outcomes.
Shit. Two, middle of the road.
I was hoping for a 1.
What was the one?
1 would have been your troops get through without incident.
Well, if I lose some troops, that doesn't matter. They're mechanical in nature.
3 would have been Cthulhu earns 50% of her magic back. 4 would have been you fail to open the portal.
And 2.
What is 2 times 50?
2 is
All her magic back.
25% back.
Cthulhu disengages from Pixie,
All of it.
turns into her mist form,
Okay, how can she do that immediately?
no, through the portal, magic is now flooding into this universe.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that fast, surely.
Speed of light. Or speed of magic in this case.
Can my drop pods just fire shots forward and hopefully try and
All of
away
your
from the
drop
portal until it
pods,
closes?
all of your drop pods, as they try
Drop
to go
ships.
through drop ships, are destroyed as Cthulhu flies through.
She can't get... Can I try and challenge her? Put a barrier in the way. Can I
Do a
at least try
magic
one
check.
roll?
Do a magic check.
11. 11 plus my 10. That's 22. And she isn't at full power. Can't say she's at full power yet. Surely. Oh, for flip's sake. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I'm an idiot.
You summon a shield,
Damn it.
which
sorry, everyone.
immediately
Damn it.
shatters as Cthulhu barrels through it.
Fuck it, no. Fuck it, no. Damn it.
Explosions littering the space around the portal as your dropships explode.
Fuck. Damn it. Sorry, everyone.
And she opens another portal, disappearing through it.
Booger, no. Booger, no. Booger. Damn it. Damn it.
Okay.
Okay, damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Oh, bloody damn it.
You're all going to hate me.
Should we end it
How the
here
hell
for
was-
today?
To ask, how the hell was a 2 the worst case scenario? Surely the worst case scenario was either the 1 or the 4. How could the 2 have been the worst case? That seems pretty damn random.
Because I
It's
numbered
supposed to be
them
a
in the
great
order.
hit.
I numbered them in the order in which I came up with them.
Oh, bugger. But our dice work. Damn it.
However, you guys still have a chance. I'm going to roll a d2, and you don't snap at me. Now, if this is a 1, you get a chance. If this is a 2,
Oh, fuck. No. Damn it. I give up.
If it is a 2, and this is the part where you all are going to hate me. The entire party.
No, everyone will hate me. Don't worry.
No,
And I hate me.
no. Because here's the thing. You know who Script's daughters are, right?
Celestia, Luna, and Chrysalis.
Celestia, Luna, Chrysalis.
What does Luna do?
Control the night and dream.
This was a
You
nightmare.
fucker.
You awake in the conference room.
Ah, come on.
Oh, well, at least I haven't killed everyone yet.
With Luna standing on the table, connecting all of you with magical strands.
Okay, damn it. Okay, I know what Darius is going to do right now. Oh dear. He storms out the room.
Why?
He's just seen a possible
killed everyone.
future where he is the reason everything is just fucked, and he is going to slam his face into a mirror and just vent. Let's put it this way. This is a nightmare where he can actually see that that's what he did, and he is the weakness keeping everybody down now in his own head. As far as he's concerned, he's worse than useless.
You meant
In fact,
well.
He meant well, but he's not sure if what he's seen was real or not, but what he definitely knows is that he shouldn't be entrusted with anything. He radios to Miss Midnight saying that she now has full control of the ship and he's relinquished command temporarily.
Okay.
Just going off to storm off into a ship or using go to the bathroom.
She confirms the order, though her voice is a little bit concerned. And Luna stands on that table, looking at Midnight in particular. With a smile on her face. Okay, do a brawl check.
Oh crap, she meant that one.
Where were you?
You slap him so hard that he rolls a few meters.
Never, ever, ever send me
I
back.
heard the Royal Council of Voice just then. Did anyone else?
He just holds his cheek and smiles at you weakly.
Also, if you're going to give the essence of the world to someone, don't give it to the most likely person
in
that
all
will
fairness,
die next.
I made sure you wouldn't.
Get the orb or die next?
Glares at him slightly. Not the point, sweetie.
Then who was I supposed to give it to? Cheerily.
Cheerily.
Cheerily! An ordinary pony who would look after it well enough and also not use it for some
And that's
weird
the thing,
but also
the
wouldn't
essence
have
of
a
the world
target on
would
their
put a
back.
target on her back. You at least could protect it.
Give it to Morphus.
Not if no one knew that she had it.
Morphus just reclines in his chair, looking worse for wear.
Looks at Luna.
I think my
What is it?
abilities came in quite useful today. And I hope that you, all of you, have learned from this experience.
Yeah. Even if we all die. Never open that bloody portal
You
again.
kind of hear thumping sounds as he just slams his face into a metal wall. Somewhere off in the distance.
You hear the clanging of metal on flesh reverberating through the entire ship. As Garius hits his face into a wall repeatedly. The lights start to flicker.
Better not break my ship.
By the way, it was only the 5 and everyone who was in the conference room. Nightfall and Ramo are basically still away.
Ah, okay.
So yes, Nightfall, you are a Griffin female.
Thank you.
At least something good came out of all this.
Looks at Luna. Thank you for that. I just wish it had
Me
gone
too.
better.
But let's hope that when you put your plan into action, you will not fail.
We won't.
Well, actually,
There's one who won't
because
open that bloody portal even if everyone
Darius is going
does
to
die.
insist that he goes instead of Script, because Script can actually be trusted being back here. Script is the only one who's trustworthy enough to fulfill the task of staying behind. Darius, now in his own opinion, cannot be trusted with the responsibility. Clearly, the pressure got to him, and he buckled under the pressure. That's not someone you need as a lifeline.
Yeah, basically you wanted to go help, but that... Yeah.
Yeah. He thought there's only a 0.1% chance, surely, that she could get out, and surely that's a low enough odds that, at least for a few seconds, but he vastly underestimated how quickly she'd return to power, and how fast her reactions would be.
Can I give you a small advice for the next time you would try something like this?
Sure.
I think the world that you fight it in were the only world without magic. Use a demilitarized zone. Teleport your troops to another world without magic, and then open a portal from that world to the world you actually want to go. Even if she would be able to fly through the portal, she would still be in a world without magic.
Wouldn't work because he would need magic to open the portal.
If he can create the crystal outside, you said yourself that artifacts keep their power. So if you would create a crystal that opens the portal, would bring it to the world without magic to open the crystal there, to open the portal there.
Thing is, the crystal isn't a magical artifact.
No, okay. Then how did you send Midnight back?
You were sent back, but
Sent back.
that crystal was created before we went there, but also used before Script's magic ran out.
Okay.
It is a magical item, an enchanted item, a magical
I thought you
artifact.
said it wasn't, because I tried to, in the 5th battle, nullify magic items, and you said the gems weren't affected, so it can't be a magic item.
Depends what kind of gem. It's hard to explain, okay?
Yeah.
Your gauntlet, for example, or Pixie's gauntlet, are magical artifacts. They are not affected by a non-magic world. A magical item is affected. It will only work as long as its user or creator still has magic. However, if you have a gem with a long-term enchantment, then this gem becomes a magical artifact. Am I making myself clear now?
A bit, yeah.
If it's like a one-use spell, like, for example, Ramo would be suggesting using it for portal, then it's a magical item. If it's a gem that holds a portal open indefinitely, or that holds that is enchanted so it constantly recharges itself with magic to hold that portal open, then it is a magical artifact. Or am I not making any sense here?
No, that makes sense. In a fashion.
Can I do one last action before we close?
And he kisses you back.
Incredibly deeply and holds him tight.
Okay, guys, let's close this then.
Sorry, everyone. I feel really bad.
Hope you guys all
And don't forget, we have a Patreon and a Teespring store, all linked down in the description below. And please let me know in the comments down below what you thought about the hell I put my players through.
They really do help us.
And Miss Nightfall.
Oh.
We need fan art of that. Okay, stopping now.
Yes.
Last
I
but
so
not
hope you're
least, I
recording.
want to thank all these amazing patrons who support my work on Patreon. Without you, nothing of this would be possible or happening. For the $1 tier, you can get a shout out in these videos, aka a mention in this splash screen, and of course early access to everything I produce, also meaning recordings that are not quite edited yet. If you pledge $5 or more, you can get a personalized thank you message including everything you get from the lower tiers. Please, if you want a personalized thank you message, send me it via DM on Patreon. For $10 or more, you can get everything from the lower tiers, and you can get me to voice something, 500 words max. And if you donate $25 or more, you get everything from the lower tiers, and I will read something for you, maximum 1000 words. Also, there will be a new tier coming up soon, the $15 tier, with which you will get everything from the $10 tier and below, but also exclusive access to my Minecraft realm, where you can play with Midnight, myself, and others. Looking forward to seeing you there. Visual Pony signing off.